I am by hilarious freestyle pig, telling your mama to suck my dick, 'cause she's a nasty, dirty bitch. In England once there lived a big and wonderfully clever pig. To everybody it was plain that piggy had a massive brain. He worked out sums inside his head. There was no book he hadn't read. He knew what made an airplane fly. He knew how engines worked and why. He knew all this, but in the end, one question drove him round a bend. He simply couldn't puzzle out what life was really all about. Wow. Sarah, Cynthia, Sylvia Stout would not take the garbage out. She'd wash the dishes and scrub the pans, cook the yarns and spice the hams. And though her parents would scream and shout, she simply would not take the garbage out. The crocodile with a cunning smile sat in the dentist's chair. He said, right here and everywhere my teeth require repair. The dentist's face was turning white. He quivered and quaked and shook. He muttered, I suppose I'm going to have to take a look. But 'twas brilliant, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wobe. Rimsy where the burrow goes, and the mom rove a grobe. Whoa, I never saw a purple cow. I never hope to see one now, but I can tell you anyhow. I'd rather see than beat one. Dun 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 dun. There you go. I am by hilarious freestyle pig, telling your mama to gag on my dick. While I went off to work one day, she decided to paint the wall, and when I came back home that night, she was curled into a ball. Her eyes were closed, she was breathing hard. Her hair was very wet, from her head to the lips, through the tips of her pretty toes. She was covered all in sweat. She was wrapped in a jacket made of down, with a fur on top of that. The wall was glowing with new, fresh paint. On the floor of a paint can sat. Sweetheart, I cried, with a worried look. Are you all right, my dear? She lazily opened her lovely eyes and smiled from ear to ear. I knew I could do it, she said with a grin. I followed the paint can notes. It clearly said for best results, be sure to put on 2 coats. Whoa, my turn signal wasn't working, so I asked for help from a friend. Stand behind the car, I said, let's get the problem to an end. Bam. A little boy sat on a toilet seat. He was in there way too long. His mom came in to check. She thought that something was wrong. He'd sit and sigh, and then he slapped the top of his head. Why did you do that? His mother asked. Works for ketchup, he said. The old men on the golf course each had trouble hearing well, or playing around on a breezy day, and one blew over and fell. Windy, isn't it? Said one of them, while helping the other to rise. No, it's Thursday, said the second man, and they walked off to exercise. The third man had listened intently. Now he chimed in with good cheer. As he followed the others, he called out, so am I. Let's have a beer. But my 5-year-old son, he lies a lot, and I wanted it to end. So I told him about the boy who cried wolf, hoping he would comprehend. He kept crying wolf. When there was no wolf, I told my son whom I adore. When the wolf came to eat him, he called for help, but no one listened anymore. My son's eyes grew wide. It looked like he got it. My heart was all aglow, but he dashed my hopes when he nodded and said, I was eaten by a wolf once, you know. Well, I don't believe in taking excess risks. But a person can be excessively careful too. A friend of mine checks every detail twice. He's the most meticulous man I ever know. When we went to the coffee store the other day, I thought we'd be a few minutes and then be done. But he counted all his copies several times and then proceeded to proofread every one. Every time I ask you something, the upset husband said, you answer it with another question. He said, scratching his head. Could you please stop it? He queried, continuing the chat. She smiled at him and replied, do I really do that? 3 gentle ladies with luncheon at a sophisticated level. Their elevator door opened. They gasped, and their faces fell. A 7-foot man was inside with an intimidating expression. They got in anyway. They were the very souls of discretion. Sit, the man yelled, and they sat. and their luncheon finery. They went up, then the door slid aside. The man said abashedly his dog had been behind him at lunchy. They got a note. The basketball star paid their bill. My apologies and my treat, he wrote. Whoa, whoa, whoa. A life insurance salesman was talking to a wife. What will you get if your husband dies? You know, at the end of his life. The woman fought and fought some more, and then she scratched her noodle. Well, I guess you know, with my husband gone, I'd probably get a poodle to doodle. Curious lad from Dover, across poison ivy with a four-leaf clover. This young man was stuck with a rash of good luck. Before his experiment was over, but move over. And drink an earthquake, I'm about to fall on the floor, move over. A dispute among three kinds of cops, CIA, FBI, LAPD, who can catch bad guys the quickest, will set up a contest and see a rabbit was set loose in the trees. We'll get him first, they all said. They gathered up all their gear and into the forest they sped. The CIA with informants, questions, animals, and plants on its list. And after 4 months of investigation, concludes rabbits do exist. The FBI searches and searches but can't find a single clue. After 3 weeks, they burn down the forest, killing the poor bunny too. The LAPD takes an hour solving crimes as fast as their habit. Their purpose, a badly bruised cougar, shouting, "Whatever you say, I'm a rabbit. I'm spitting on Babette. How fast can I learn French?" she said, a worrying frown on her face. "Why have a hurry?" the teacher replied. "Is this a special case? We've adopted a sweet French baby," she said, "and we don't want people to gawk. We want everyone to understand him whenever he starts to talk." Two old friends met on the street, hadn't talked in many a year. "How's your family?" asked this dear old friend. "I'd really like to hear. George has a master's in literature," the other said with pride, "and Mary's a grad in modern art. Her career she has yet to decide." "And how's Willie?" The first friend asked kindly, while the other displayed defeat. "Oh, Willie's a plumber," she sighed, hanging her head, "but without him we'd be out on the street. Indeed, I know how it is to need money as much as I can get. My teenager goes to the mall and I go into debt. Most kids' first words are mama." She said Visa with a smile. She has a black belt and shopping and a package from every aisle. Larry came into the bar every day to drink 2 beers. "My brother's dying, one's for him," he said, his eyes full of tears. Each day it was the same, 2 beers and then he'd go. One for his brother, one for him. He's sad but sweet. This Skimo. One day he orders just one. "His brother's dead, I'm thinking," I asked him, but he replied, "No, it's me. I've given up drinking." Rapping never ended. A pastor journeyed to heaven. A cab driver followed him through. The cab driver got a mansion. The pastor got a lean-to. "How come?" inquired the pastor. "This seems like a chariot. They slept through your sermon," said Peter. When he drove, his passengers prayed. Life is often funny, but often challenging too. I am by Hilarious Freestyle Pig, telling your mama to gag on my dick. She's a nasty, dirty bitch.